CEO Tom Lee. He'll get your back. What's Cisco looking like going into tonight? Question is Cisco more Juniper or is Cisco more Arista? Padres fan. Tom said the Qs will outperform the SPY for the rest of the year. Yep. Disney is such a dud. They are who we thought they were, right? Look at that. Just railroading down. SPY's dying. It's down 0.6. Investors gang banging the mouse. Wow. Here's interesting news, by the way. Let's see how ACI is doing. ACI is Albertsons, the grocery store chain in the United States. I am shocked they're up. Seven states are asking the FTC to block Kroger's $24.6 billion acquisition of Albertsons. They're still fighting for the merger, huh? Well, yep. I mean, Albertsons is at market cap wise 12.7 billion. And if they're being offered 24.6 billion, then their board of directors have a responsibility to push for it. Albertsons is also a pretty decent buy here. That's about, yeah, it's probably a situation like Activision Blizzard where it's like, even if they don't get acquired, it's a good business. You remember the price was like $27, was it? Could make sense, yeah. Have I seen RITM to acquire SCU? No. I don't know who the fuck these guys are. Rhythm Capital Corp? I have no clue. Never heard of this. Yep, similar spectacular. Ulta chart does look pretty bullish. I would agree. Again, if you looked at the call out we just looked at for Target's earnings, they specifically said Ulta doubled their growth year over year, which is a big deal. Yep, SPY's under 440, correct. Look at it go. Does it have any bounce in its heart? This is weird. Piper on Pinterest, spike on news. This afternoon, an Amazon corporate blog highlighted first-party advertisers will soon be able to promote on Pinterest and other third-party sites. The blog states sponsored product ads from Amazon will extend directly onto Pinterest as if they were on the Amazon domain. We previously interpreted the partnership to only include Amazon DSP third-party advertisers. Amazon-sponsored products should improve shoppability and inventory on Pinterest while potentially driving new users to the application as well. Reiterate, overweight, $35 price target. That's interesting. All right, SPY's back above 440. See if it shows any heart. Cavitate, you made money on Pinterest. Did you see that article about Amazon? Looks like you can spot when the news came out. Nope, you heard a call out on it? Okay, nice. I wonder if that person heard about that. Black Raven on air. Yeah. Still needs to fill up this gap. It's close to it, but I'd still think you can get it lower. The interesting thing, by the way, if you are considering air right now, know that tonight Wolfspeed reports. So that could have an impact in either direction for air. It shouldn't matter for air, of course, but it could. So keep that in mind. Going spectacular. You bought $470 September 8th calls. Ballsy. Look at Target. Target gave up most of its gains. Target's earnings were not that good. But I don't think Target's too cheap right now. I just don't trust their management. I don't trust their management. Every dollar you invest in Target's one less dollar you're investing in Amazon, and I think Amazon's so much stronger. So much stronger. Air's been moving on EVs more than semis as late. Yeah, which it's not unreasonable, but yeah. One thing to keep in mind about Air is at any given point, you'll wake up one morning and it's going to be up 10% on news they signed a new silicon carbide customer. They still don't have any contracts with STM, and STM almost certainly will be a customer of Air. People are just waiting for that. Wendy, you guys, everyone knew their earnings would be bad. Their earnings weren't that bad. Like now, from a valuation standpoint, you're like, fine, they're going to give you $8 for $130 a share. That's actually not bad. The problem is, man, you can't trust that management right now. The 10-year going to take off, is it? See the bonds. 30-year was moving up. Remember, this is the price of the bond, not the yield. So when they see the price going down, that means the yield is going up. So that explains why the SPY is not so happy right now. You don't trust Wolf Speed? Good luck. Good luck, sir. Your biggest loss position is your 30. Oh, God. Ouch. 10-year just broke past October highs. Yep. So when bond yields are moving like that, it's mechanical at this point. You're not expecting stocks to be up. Sure. So I want to check what Bloodbath and Beyond's doing. Apparently, Bloodbath and Beyond had a court hearing, and in the subreddit, they're talking all sorts of shit about one of the people who raised an objection. So I don't know what that means to the stock, but I don't know how any of this matters to the stock. Why is TMF dying? I assume because the underlying price of the bond itself is going down. Remember, yields up means the price went down. You thought TMF and stocks are supposed to be inverse? Not really. Mm-hmm. PayPal, like, sorry guys, I can't go much lower. It can always go lower. The crazy thing is, though, we keep getting macro that shows, like, all the data shows the US economy's banging, but everything related to inflation shows inflation's going down. So trying to play bonds or fixed income, it's like, well, higher economic activity makes you think higher rates. Lower inflation makes you think lower or at least equal rates. So there's a bit of a face off. What's an attractive entry on AMD? I have no clue. I think it's more time frame based. The problem on AMD is AMD went up a lot for a company who, quite frankly, was not actively playing in big data center AI. Someone said, "Money, you think you saw a note this morning about AMD weakness was due to CPU server forecasts coming down from GPU cannibalization?" I saw that same note. That could also make sense. Absolutely. The weird thing is, though, is that everybody known that's been the case now. Microsoft told us, Meta told us as well. Gina says, what does GPU cannibalization means? Basically, that companies are pulling back on traditional data center server spend because they're moving some of the cost that they would have, or some of the money they would have normally put into a traditional CPU driven server into one that's got more GPU content to do AI. Instead of each socket, so I'll use the word socket here, instead of spending, between, say, what, 4 to 8 thousand, let's treat that as very much ballpark. On a CPU, you could spend $40,000 per socket to get a GPU. See what the spy is doing. See if the spy even matters. By the way, Mo, tonight, new level of frustration. We must play Tricky Towers on the most difficult setting. Yeah, Mo, my opinion changed. I'm allowed to change my mind. Intel's acquisition of Tower Semi is dead, guys. It's dead. China did not act on it. Look at it. They are down 11%. By the way, Tower is a really good company. The problem is this is not a forgiving point in the semiconductor cycle, particularly for lagging edge foundry. Hey, Venkman, how you doing, my friend? It is Wednesday, yes. Big dumb investor, good for Intel? Not really. So the reason why Intel wanted Tower Semi, everyone's belief is it's a talent acquisition move. They don't really care too much about the existing fabs, for example, Tower has. It's not a bad thing, right? The real thing they wanted was all the technical staff and leadership, because Tower has been apparently a very effective contract foundry. And that's the business Intel's moving into. So the belief was Intel actually wanted the people. Buy a company for the talent, Intel, they're down bad. Listen, manufacturing semiconductors is the most difficult manufacturing process on the face of the earth, right? And Tower Semi's got a niche of being pretty good at it. Yep, someone said money. Previously, you think Intel had also fired? I don't know they fired or just lost them in general. But yeah, suppose there were some high up people in Intel Foundry Services, IFS, who supposedly departed recently, and everyone's thoughts was, well, those are the roles and you're replaced by the Tower Semi people. Apparently not. Also, there was an interesting post I liked from one of my former professors from China. He said, "Saw this comment. This is from a Chinese social networking site. All right. A, Chinese people think the government still has significant measures to deploy, while the government thinks ordinary people still have a lot of money to spend. B, China mistakenly believes the U.S. is a paper tiger, while the U.S. mistakenly sees China as a real threat. Lol. Ouch. But it does show that no one knows shit. Someone say money. Ask Apple how buying Intel talent worked out for their modem ambitions. Ow. The pain. Very savage. Like how people are posting, inflation risks could require further tightening FOMC minutes. Yeah. Yep. Anything interesting in the minutes? I didn't think so. Promo. Aren't semis supposed to have high PE at the bottom? Apparently not Qualcomm. Qualcomm just gets lower and lower. Necessary shout. Did I ever use Paycor? So one of the companies that I worked at, I think, did have a Paycor module, but we were moving away from them towards ADP. Okay, we're back. Yeah, so Hawaii Electric looks like it's down. They're in talks with financial restructuring firms. Yeah, pivot point was 442. Yep. So my stop loss triggered on Hawaii Electric. So I made money on them. I had shares I bought at the end of the market yesterday or after market yesterday. Where did it trigger? Let's see. So yeah. Thank God I set a stop loss on them. It wouldn't have mattered. That's a small position. Yeah, B Hood. Was anything anywhere that would explain the small spike in the U.S. 10-year yield? A lot of quotes from the Fed minutes is that some participants said inflation might require further tightening. People are saying, oh, rate's going to go up. Yeah, B Hood. They're in talks with financial restructuring people. Jay giving the Bears free points, clearly. B Hood, sounds like they think they'll be found. Let's not go that far. All right, let's chill out for a second, and let's just point out that there is a report saying they're speaking to financial restructuring firms. Let's not read too much into that yet. By all means, don't own the stock, but no one, by the way, has credibly accused them of starting fires. There has been no lawsuit filed that we know of. There's been no criminal action even alleged. Like, let's move at the pace of logic, right? By the way, I wouldn't touch him right now. Oh, I like this VIP hood. What's interesting is that Hawaii Electric has a 95% monopoly on the island, and the way the liability law works, they should be fine. Yeah. The thing to keep in mind about Hawaii Electric, and I like to call out to PG&E, your utility company essentially has a monopoly. All right? That's why it's a utility. There's a lot of laws around that. If Hawaii sues Hawaii Electric into oblivion, they don't have electricity. Right? You're not going to sue someone into complete and total bankruptcy, and then all of a sudden, you've got people maintaining your power lines, etc. Yeah, they're basically suing themselves. Same principle exists with California with the famous shitco PG&E, one of the greatest shitcos ever. And if you think I'm calling them a shitco because they may have started the Paradise Fire, no. I call them a shitco because they famously were one of the big lobbyists to push for deregulation of the energy market in California. And that's when a certain company named Enron clobbered them with like $30 billion worth of losses. Margie, the victims can sue. Company doesn't need to go bankrupt for stockholders to get wrecked. Correct, but the victims sue, the company will go bankrupt. Like, if a company is sued for $1 million and the stock goes down, all right, it's not like there's $1 million created to hand off to the person who sues. Get it? Sydney Sinisandra, also the San Bruno pipeline explosion. Yep. Yeah, that's why I find the idea of like, if you suing a utility, a local utility, is like suing your local government. You're going to end up paying yourself and lawyers. The PG&E customer, fuck them, yep. Am I playing Applied Materials? Not yet. Tempted to, but I'm not. I did swing some shares this week. Yeah, just own cows for the methane and the hamburgers. By the way, Tesla's down on news. They are lowering prices in China. Again, second price cut in the last week. Goes without saying, that's not considered good for them, for their margins. Simple spectacular. Once AMAT wicks above 141, you're going to get a position. Interesting. Am I playing Cisco? No, I'm tempted to though. Any interesting options activity on Cisco? A lot of calls. It looks like some degenerative shit going on. Might just buy some shares of Cisco so I can pretend I care. How about that? Yeah, I'll buy 100 shares of Cisco. That thong, the thong, thong, thong. Yes, I still have my NVIDIA call. I still have my NVIDIA call. Just one. The funny thing is, there, of course, there is famously the other Cisco. It's also a good company. Yeah, Cisco, AMAT, and even Wolfspeed are three companies. If I was playing them all, I would do calls. Wolfspeed is the biggest gamble. Wolfspeed is the biggest gamble. Also, important to note about Wolfspeed is that it's not often you find a semiconductor company that loses money. This is a true growth company. Healing Care Bear, have I heard anything from Spria? Not recently, no. Padres fan, when does Wolfspeed report? Tonight, like right at 4:05. Right at 4:05. Uneven Donkey. Wow, Wolfspeed was $125 stock. And the wild thing is that Wolfspeed was always valued based on what they are, or rather, what they could be, what they are planning to be, and not what they are. This is a pure growth stock right now. This is a pure growth stock. If you buy Wolfspeed, you are buying a company that plans on becoming like the only pure play silicon carbide player in the world. $2.5 billion to the sell side. Oh dear. Yeah, I'll stream until we can see what happens to Cisco. Cisco and Wolfspeed are both, I think, at 4:05. Yeah, tonight we care about Cisco, Synopsys, and Wolfspeed. All of them is at 4:05. Tomorrow morning, though, you get Walmart. I bet you Walmart does well. I'm not playing them, by the way. Padres fan, this is a really good question. Is there a technology that can supplant SiC? SiC already is supplanted by the use of silicon. The problem is chemistry, baby. Chemistry and physics. So silicon carbide is an emerging technology that actually replaces silicon for electrical inverters. So when you switch electricity from alternating current to direct current, good for electronics, right? If you're using traditional silicon called IGBTs, there's specific devices that can help you switch the electrical flow. All right. The problem that you run into with existing silicon is that if you up the voltage too much, they melt. They literally melt. To prevent them from melting, you have to use all sorts of heat sinks and cooling, and oftentimes it's not worth it. Silicon carbide is more expensive. It's more difficult to work with. However, the quote that I saw was that specifically for EV inverters, all right, which every EV needs multiple of. If you use silicon carbide, for every additional dollar you spend, you get $7 in cost savings because you can replace them less often, they'll work for longer, and more importantly, you get to charge faster and charge longer. So it saves you on battery cost and on weight. That's how I've heard it described. Does that make sense? That's why like companies like Air talk about it. They're a little bit right now recession resilient because silicon carbide, more companies are going to move to it just because it saves you money. Wolfspeed, negative 20 cents EPS estimate. Yep. And 222 million. Yep. What are the headwinds Wolfspeed faces? No, it's execution. It's execution, execution, execution. Manufacturing, I mean, it's literally going to be a vertically integrated silicon carbide producer. And when you talk about difficulty, silicon carbide's like one of the 3 hardest substances on the planet. So you imagine just slicing up a silicon carbide wafer. I heard it takes like hours to do it. Little devices, yeah, blah, blah. How to obtain a silicon carbide wafer? Yeah, it's cut from cylindrical. Yep, that's fine. Yep, diamond. Yep. Hold on, where's the... Yep, so here's someone saying that silicon carbide wafers themselves, just the wafers, are between 20 to 50 times pricier than silicon. The other issue is silicon carbide wafers. And by the way, this is where Wolfspeed may have a long-term advantage. Supposedly, most silicon carbide wafers are either 6 inches or 8 inches. 12 inches is the largest that any wafer is for semiconductor manufacturing. Apparently, Wolfspeed's trying to do 12-inch wafers. Big dumb investor. Hold up. Motherfuckers out there. No, they're not. I know they were showing what looked to be a hacksaw, but. Galloping conch. Bet you can do it fast with one of those 10,000 degree knives. Oh. If. Hold on. Spencer says, is it true silicon carbide has been used forever as an abrasive? Yes, it's true. It's true. But the thing specifically about silicon carbide, right? The thing about silicon carbide, some of you steel fans might appreciate, is originally to produce silicon carbide, they use an EAF, an electric arc furnace. Yeah. It's actually, the EAF is used to produce silicon carbide. Big cap market maker. The mystical future switch to 18-inch wafers just never will happen. Agreed, it will not. It was looked into previously. There was a Asianometry report about it. All right, Spy's at 439, and time pencils down. Bears win. Well played all. Well played. Sick Chief. Top of the hour, hydration. Everyone must hydrate. Can I check Ford? Sure. Ford? Yeah, down. Everything's down, so it's not too much of a shock, right? Yeah, getting boomed on. Let's keep eyes on Cisco. That thong. Cisco, Wolfspeed, and Synopsys are all at 405. Synopsys is the lesser known duopoly, or member of the duopoly for EDA, electric design automation tools. This is the software you need to design your own semiconductors. CME is sure taking their due sweet time. Yeah. Wolf dumped that close. Yeah. So Wolfspeed, Synopsys, and Cisco. And within 5 minutes, we should hear from all of them. One of the interesting things about Wolfspeed is Wolfspeed, one of the big issues behind them, they got somewhat de-risked. We'll see if it matters. I notice their stock just dropped. But supposedly they're not going to be requiring a lot of dilution now. Should raid Lord MC Trades again. Okay. Promo, it's kind of hilarious. One of the most vocal V-Bears capitulated. I feel bad for him. I like him. The comical thing about like the Bears, a lot of the Bears' arguments, by the way, happened. They were right. EPS compression, consumer slowdown, etc. The problem is they keep talking about like the big shoe is still yet to drop from a market standpoint, when it's really like, actually, that's what you got to price in last year. All right, any earnings out yet? All right, there we go. Sorry, guys. Yeah, no, Apollo didn't like me talking about them loaning money. No, I have to update Streamlabs. This is definitely now a Streamlabs problem, I can tell. Cisco's been moving around a lot. Wolfspeed's down a little bit. I don't see their numbers yet. Cisco's bouncing around a lot. Wolfspeed dumped. Cisco's up, but it's bouncing around a lot. We'll see if that's real. Wolfspeed's down. Yep, Wolfspeed's down big. Yeah, the source resolution. Yeah, I gotta update the Cisco dropped. Looks like they beat. Let's see what happens to them. Cisco beat expectations. What's the revenue? They didn't make as much money as Rogan. How about that? Yeah, we might get a juicy air dip tomorrow. Let's see. Ooh, let's not go there with Linus Tech Tips. They're having some problems. Looks like Cisco's revenue is a beat. What's their guide look like? Yep. So Synopsys is down, Cisco is down, and Wolfspeed is down. Looks like Cisco beat, though. Cisco beat. See what Cisco looks like. Yeah. So this past year was a milestone year for Cisco with record performance in both the full year and Q4. We are seeing solid customer demand, gaining market share, and innovating in key areas like AI, security, and cloud. This momentum gives us confidence in our ability to capture many opportunities ahead. We delivered double-digit growth in revenue and EPS, generating strong operating leverage in Q4. Our business model transformation drove double-digit growth in software revenue, product annual recurring revenue, and total remaining performance obligations, leading to greater visibility and predictability. We are committed to expanding operating leverage and increasing shareholder returns over the long term. Yay! Padres fan, I haven't seen the actual earnings from Wolfspeed yet. No one posted it. Would 430 be a correction? Yeah. What do you think it'd be? It's not like it's a new bear market. Looks like Cisco is guiding up. Not much. Not much of a guide up. Yep. Let's see. So they lost more. They lost more. Wolfspeed lost even more than expected. Yeah, Wolfspeed's taking the dick. Ain't it easy? Yeah, after hours for air don't matter. Yeah, it looks like Wolfspeed did not do that well. But I want to find out why. They beat on revenue. They missed on EPS bad. And it looks like they're guiding next quarter. It looks like their revenue is slightly underneath consensus. Their EPS, though, is way under consensus. Wolf numbers look very rough. Yeah. What's on that EPS side? We are pleased with our progress as we secured $5 billion in funding to support our continued capacity expansion plans, initiated construction on our 200 millimeter 12-inch materials factory in North Carolina, and generated initial revenue from the Mohawk Valley 200 millimeter 12-inch device fab. With approximately $8.3 billion of customer design-ins secured in the last 12 months, customers are continuing to select Wolfspeed for their future silicon carbide device needs. So we must remain keenly focused on scaling our materials and device capacity. Just agree. I now, if you my DGen portfolio, basically I treat shares as cash. So if you look at that, I'm only about 15% invested. I've spent the last 2 weeks freeing up a lot of cash. I have shares positions now in quite a few different companies. But if I lose, 5% on those, I don't care. Promo. Gross margins got slammed, not sure why. I assume it's because of their production fuck-ups. The story of their last earnings was production fuck-ups. So I assume the reason that they probably missed had to do with them having to destroy a lot of work-in-progress inventory. By the way, if you're a long-term investor in Wolfspeed, you don't care. You literally don't care. What exactly are they fucking up? Growing silicon carbide boules, splicing silicon carbide boules, doing the epitaxy layer on top of it and fabbing out of it. It's the most... Manufacturing semiconductors is difficult. And even though this is not leading edge, they don't need like EUV lithography. Silicon carbide in particular is incredibly difficult to work with. That's why it's more expensive. And how, if in any way, does that affect what air does? It shouldn't. It shouldn't. But yeah. This sounds, simply put, like manufacturing issues remain. That's it. That's simple. It's easy. The Synopsys is now going up. Synopsys' guide came out. Full year revenue growth 14 to 15%, adjusted EPS growth 24 to 25%. Dear Mike Wilson, that's called operating leverage. Padres fan says, Air just sells burn-in testing equipment, which has no correlation with silicon. Yeah, you're right. Let me talk about Wolfspeed's not green. Why are you shouting that out? We're not a fan of that. I don't know what you saw. They are moving up, but they're still down in aggregate today 10%. So they're not happy. Did you get some of those yellow magic mushrooms? Yeah, price is not seen since June 5th. Yep. Yeah, Wolfspeed's taking all the penis right now. Synopsys is now green on the day. Yeah, Cisco seemed to do okay. They're down in after hours, but not by a lot. All right, guys, let's wrap up the stream there. Let's check out what Lord MC Trades is doing. It was requested. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Let's see how Walmart does in the morning. That could be interesting. Anyway, folks, you all take care. Peace.